Hello, my chess friends. I got for today a lesson important for our beginner novices friends. A very important idea, which says that you shouldn't be moving twice the same piece in the opening. If a piece has been developed, don't move it again. Unless you have an incredibly important reason, but most of the time it ain't. Like in this situation now on the board here, just being incredibly practical, Black chosen to move the bishop from f5 to e4. Completely unnecessary. That shouldn't have happened. Black instead should have just played the knight from b8, for instance, to d7. Just given an example how you're supposed to use your resources and activate all of your pieces as soon as possible. So don't waste that incredibly important tempo. It matters absolutely. Now in this position, because Black wasted a move, you're going to develop the last minor piece of the back rank with tempo, hitting that bishop. Let me just play it. So now you're attacking the bishop, which, you know, uh, it's under knight's attack. If you want to save the bishop, you have to move again, and you just simply waste a tempo. Unnecessary move. Okay, so just keep this in mind. Don't just waste tempo moving twice those pieces already developed, but instead get another resource active in the game. Let's move to the next exercise here. Now, what did the person playing with black pieces do here? The bishop was on a5, and rather than, for instance, castling, which is another important idea, my friends, you want to secure your king. You want to make sure the king is safe. If you delay the castling, and if you just move the bishop again, which by the way was on a5, no one was attacking the bishop, I would have said, yeah, if white played knight b3 at some point, of course, get your bishop on c7, save your guy, or b6, whatever corresponds better to your intention. But to move the bishop like this now instead of castling, it's going to be very costly. Why? Because white now plays, for instance, just give an example, rook f to e1. What does that mean? You check the king. They already got a problem here. Okay? They can't block with anything. If they castled previously, they wouldn't have gotten themselves in this mess now. So now they either move the king, which is really horrible because the rook then can't become active and can't play, and you need to waste another tempo playing g6, moving the king, then getting the rook out. So it's going to cost you a couple of important essential tempi. Do not waste any moves. Don't play an already developed piece. This is an important concept. Please try to remember. Next exercise here. As you could see, white chosen here to do something dubious. Knight f3 over to e5. Why? Why to move that knight? Perhaps they should have explored other ideas. Maybe you want to play the bishop. Perhaps you want to castle the white king. Way better than moving twice that piece. They already been developed. Why move it again? You don't attack nothing. As you can see, you're just looking at the knight. It doesn't attack anything. Okay, there's no point. Plus, you're going to punish them straight away. That's going to be incredibly unpleasant. And frankly, after you play the next move with black pieces, white should be resigning. Let me tell you what I'm talking about here. You're just going to do, for instance, something like queen to d4. What does that mean? You're attacking two weaknesses, the principle of two weaknesses. So that's another idea. Apart from don't moving twice the same piece in the opening, in the first stage of the game, I mean, because later on you are supposed to be moving them repeatedly. But in the opening, not twice. And now the black queen attacks targets two weaknesses simultaneously. Knight on e5 and the rook on a1. You can't save them both. Even if white were to play something like this, it's a more disaster than before. You're still going to grab this guy. It's going to be incredibly, incredibly difficult. Okay, remember this. Shall we try perhaps one more time, my chess friends? Look at this one, knight g5. I can fully understand now that white would like, in principle, to attack on f7. Makes sense, but there is one particular move black can play right now that completely demotivate, completely stops in its tracks everything, any attempt of white to hit on f7. And that was a very important tempo loss. What am I referring to? If you just watch the position instead of panicking now, what if you just castle the king? You castle the king and you sort out the problem. You've got no issue whatsoever. No serious player gonna give you two active minor pieces to take a pawn and an idle rook. Actually, if they do that, you are in super, super advantage positionally, materially, and you should be winning the game. Okay, just another idea. Shall we try another one maybe? Okay, let's looking at this position here. Knight had been moved twice in the opening, already to f6 and then to g4. Probably in this, by the way, this is Sicilian dragon, just in case you wonder what kind of setup we're having here. This is the Sicilian dragon. c5, d6, d4 had been exchanged already, and now 2 prematurely. Knight goes on g4, trying to harass the bishop. There is a big problem. If you will remember this setup in the future, you are going to be punishing your opponents straight away. Practically, you're going to win material, big material here. And black's not going to be very happy because you are going to play bishop b5 check. You're punishing black for moving twice an already developed piece. I mean, knight f6 had been played, and now knight g4 completely unnecessarily. They should have played bishop g7. They should have tried to play knight c6, this kind of ideas. And now look what you do. Bishop b5, what does that mean? You're checking the king. If they want to block with the bishop, I've got some bad news for your opponent. Queen takes on g4. The bishop can't take the queen because it's pinned by the bishop. Okay, so this is absolutely devastating, and if you remember this kind of ideas, you should be able, guys, to do just the right stuff in the normal amount. Minimum moves with the pawns. Move 1, maybe 2 pawns in the opening. Play the knight, play the bishop, castle the king. Don't mess around. Just do this simple principle. Sometimes they call them the golden rules of the opening. Remember this, it's going to be very, very useful, and you're going to do very well, at least in the beginning, in the first part of the game. After you've castled the king, remember to move the other knight and the other bishop from the back rank. All the minor pieces, we're talking about knights and bishops, need to be developed. Then move the queen, connect the rooks, and that's a very healthy, solid, robust beginning of your games. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll see you very soon with more chess videos here on this channel. Don't forget to subscribe on the YouTube channel and follow me on Twitch as well. Thank you very much. See you soon.